You receive the email on a Thursday. No subject line. No signature. Just a date, a time, and an address in Rosslyn, Virginia, followed by 4 words, "Do not tell anyone." You almost delete it. The address traces to a shell company with no website, no LinkedIn presence, no client record anywhere on the internet. It exists on paper and only on paper. Something about that precision stops your finger. Spam is sloppy. This is surgical. 3rd floor, door unlocked. A man in his mid-50s sits behind a metal desk, reading glasses, fleece vest, a manila folder he closes the moment you enter. He does not stand. He says your first name, the way someone says it when they've been watching you for a long time. He already knows about Aman. He knows about the asset you ran out of a textile business in Istanbul for 14 months, without a single mention in any official reporting chain. None of that is in your file. None of it was ever written down. You don't ask how he knows. You don't want to know. He describes a unit. He never names it. Language so deliberately imprecise it could describe an advisory panel. But you understand exactly what he's describing, an organization that moves before the satellites arrive, before the Tier 1 operators, before anyone else knows a building exists. He describes the cost first: isolation, destroyed relationships, identity erosion. His honesty is more persuasive than any recruitment pitch precisely because it isn't a pitch at all. You say yes. Level 1. The disappearance. 10 days later, you're in a van with blacked out windows and no phone signal, driving toward a facility no satellite map labels beyond a land parcel number. Training lasts 14 months. Your body is a secondary instrument. Your mind is the weapon they are sharpening. You learn surveillance detection routes involving 72 sequential decision points per route. You read the angle of a stranger's shoulders at an intersection, the timing of a hand entering a pocket, the micro behaviors separating someone walking with purpose from someone walking with assignment. You learn functional disguise. A stone in your left shoe alters your gait enough to shift biometric recognition by 31%. You transition between 3 cover identities in under 90 seconds in a public restroom at a shopping mall where local law enforcement believes they're supporting a federal counter-narcotics task force. They are not. 12 candidates entered. 9 graduated. You never learn exactly why the others were removed. Asking would itself constitute a flag. Level 2. The first life. Your first deployment places you in a Southeast Asian capital as a business development manager for a Swiss equipment firm that actually exists, employs 340 real people, and files taxes in 4 countries. Your hiring paperwork processed through their actual HR department by a team whose sole function is building employment histories for people like you. Your target is a procurement network moving centrifuge components across 4 countries under falsified end-user certificates. 9 months of trade conferences and dinner parties, 2 drinks maximum. Questions that sound like due diligence. You recruit 2 assets. The first, a logistics coordinator paid $3,200 a month from a fund appearing in no appropriations document on Earth. The second, a junior engineer with genuine moral objections to the weapons program he's helping build. He provides technical specifications and the location of a secondary storage facility satellite imagery missed entirely. He keeps you awake. Not because you doubt his information, because his sincerity is exactly the profile of an asset who takes risks that compress his operational lifespan. You file 3 reports recommending enhanced security protocols. You receive no response. You don't ask again. No commendation, no evaluation, no acknowledgement. 8 days of debriefing, 1 week of leave. You don't sleep well. You don't know if the engineer is still alive. That not knowing doesn't fade. It becomes architecture, weight carried in a place you've stopped trying to locate. Level 3. The denied area. You enter the country 8 months before your operational window. 3rd country passport. 14 months of backstop travel history. 4 years of manufactured social media. The counterintelligence service here detains first and investigates later. No embassy. No diplomatic cover. No extraction protocol involving any government acknowledging your existence. If detained, execution under local espionage statutes. The United States will deny you. This was communicated verbally. You signed nothing. You nodded. That nod was the contract. Your target is a military colonel coordinating a covert weapons transfer program, a state secret inside his own government. You find him through his driver, a man who collects dry cleaning near the Ministry of Defense on Tuesday and Friday afternoons. 23 days of foot surveillance, never the same location twice. On day 23, you confirm the target's identity and transmit coordinates through a method that would compromise active operations in 7 countries if described here. 14 days later, the program is disrupted through diplomatic channels that make no reference to how the intelligence was obtained. Behind both government statements is 4 months of your invisible life in a city that was hunting for you. You tell yourself the risk was justified. Some nights you believe it. Level 4. The near end. In year 8, your unit's technical team discovers a foreign security service has flagged you, gate analysis software connecting footage from 3 locations across 6 weeks, cutting through every disguise configuration you ran. A signal embedded in a podcast downloads to your phone on a Wednesday. 1 instruction: leave now. 48 hours. Airport eliminated. You activate an emergency exfiltration protocol never previously used. Bus to a provincial city. Taxi to the border. A night crossing on foot using coordinates memorized before you destroyed every device in your hotel room. You cross at 3:09 a.m. through a 17-minute gap in the guard rotation. A car is waiting. Your hands shake for 2 days and you cannot make them stop. 3 weeks later, your asset's designation. A date. 1 word. Compromised. You don't ask what happens to him after that. The operational calculus required your extraction. He was expendable within that calculus. Understanding the math doesn't prevent his face from visiting you at 3 a.m. in the space where your operational mind stores everything it cannot process during daylight. Level 5. The architecture. Promotion carries no title change. You now design operations instead of executing them. A windowless room, 11 countries' intelligence streams, collection strategies for operators who will carry whatever this work builds inside a person. You understand the adversary's counterintelligence architecture at a structural level because you spent 8 years being hunted by iterations of it. Your operations reshape American policy toward 3 nations. The policymakers consuming the product believe it originates from technical collection. The human risk is invisible to everyone outside your unit, by design. You send people into environments that may kill them. You have been inside that calculus. You send them anyway. Whether that justification is genuine or a narrative you constructed to make the work sustainable is a question you no longer have the bandwidth to examine honestly. Level 6. The exit that isn't one. After 22 years, you leave. No ceremony. No shadow box. A man thanks you. Another reminds you that everything you experienced is classified with no expiration date. You nod. The motion is automatic now. You settle in an unremarkable house in a town where nobody asks about your career. Government consulting, you say. Sufficiently boring. You sleep poorly, not every night, enough that the pattern is clinical. Your body still responds to an unfamiliar car outside at 2:00 a.m. with a readiness response that puts your feet on the floor before conscious thought forms a question. The response was designed for environments that required it. It does not care that those environments are gone. Your career is absence. Weapons transfers disrupted. Attacks neutralized before execution. Programs abandoned because their operators realized they'd been penetrated and couldn't understand how. Those things did not happen. That is the only evidence your career ever existed. Absence leaves no trace. You were always the function. Somewhere this week, in an office park in Northern Virginia, a man in a fleece vest sits behind a metal desk across from a young intelligence professional who received an email she almost deleted. He already knows things that never made it into any file. He describes the work in language so imprecise it could mean anything. She understands exactly what he is offering, a life invisible to everyone she has ever loved. An identity replaced and replaced again until the original feels like a rumor about someone else. She looks across the desk. She says yes. She doesn't fully understand why. They never do. And somewhere, in a filing system she hasn't yet built. The wait is already waiting.